Yeah, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. About to run through the end of the season recap, man. I'll try to keep it as quick as possible. But here we are at the end of season five with a 15-2 record. I am a little late, so we already played a playoff game here, but uh, better late than never. Let's go ahead and get this video out of the way. Just because I like to talk about the team that we built, the things that we've done, and kind of like encompass everything into this video because this is definitely the last season. We are in early June. New games are coming out. We got the new college football game coming out next month in July, and then Madden in August. So this is definitely going to be the last season of Madden 24. So yeah, man. So I want to go through what we did so far with the squad. Just for this season in particular, we'll go over some of the season stats and show what we did. I definitely wanted to make note of our defense first. Even though our offense is a top four offense, um, and we did lead the league in passing touchdowns and everything like that. But the defense is where this team shines. We are head and shoulders above the rest when it comes to yards. Um, Only allowing 4,400 yards, just under 4,500 yards on the season. Next closest, Bears, Broncos, and all that stuff like that. Now, where we also shine, like a head and shoulders of everyone else, is takeaways and sacks, right? 84 sacks on the season, led the league. 61 interceptions on the season, led the league. 300 points given up total, led the league by quite a big margin. So we'll get to the yearly stats for the players as well. This is our first season without Lamar Jackson. We did end up trading him to the Rams for the Rams' first round pick, which was 19th overall. We got a X Factor cornerback, and I believe a third round pick or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I know that 19th overall pick is what we got in return for Lamar Jackson plus that cornerback. So that 19th overall pick turned into Shador Sanders. He wasn't drafted as Shador, but we just changed his name to Shador because he fit the mold, right? 6'3", 217. Um, and this was the first quarterback off the board. Now he was drafted as a 77 overall, hidden dev. He ended up being an X Factor, which is dope. And we, of course, we focus traded him with a mentor the entire season, all that good stuff. We did end up using our end of season awards from last season, playing all of our games and streaming all of our games. That got us a plus 10 attribute boost. So we did use that on Shador Sanders, right? At the mid-season point, week 9, there's also an activity bonus if you've played all your games up until week 9. So you got another plus 10, right? So that's plus 20 in attribute points to put on Shador Sanders, and we use that, um, to our advantage, right? To get him from a 77 up to a 95 base overall. He's obviously a 99 with all the morale boost and all that good stuff, but you know, I believe when he was drafted, he had 94 throw power, mid to low 80s in accuracy and all that good stuff. But as you can see, his numbers now and what he's done is absolutely insane. It's also really insane that I drafted a 91 speed quarterback, 19th overall. Like no one in the top 20 needed a quarterback, and I was like, all right, yeah, bet, let's go ahead and take this guy. I had another plan if we didn't get a quarterback in the draft, which was this guy. This was the other player I traded for. It wasn't a third round pick. It was a first round pick, this quarterback, and an X Factor corner. So this is the guy we were going to roll into the season with as our starter. He was an 83 overall star depth QB, which I felt really comfortable with going into the season with him as our QB. If you look at his numbers across the board, he hits all the thresholds for accuracy, pretty good throw power at 94, and he's decently athletic to still run a spread offense. But like I said, when the opportunity strikes me to take a 91 speed quarterback, I think he ran like a 4.39 or 4.41 in the 40. I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and pull the trigger on this guy. 6,000 yards, 70 touchdowns later, he is your league MVP, offensive rookie of the year, best QB, all that good stuff. So yeah, we made the right move. Unfortunately, Lamar's contract ballooned up to $84 million for this final season of the league, and I just could not field a roster with that contract on my books. So we had to move Lamar. It's unfortunate, but we moved Lamar and we turned another guy into Lamar essentially. So Taking a look at the rushing stats, it sucks that we didn't get our guy to 1,000 rushing yards. He's 12 yards shy, which is kind of crazy, which was our goal for this season for him. But it is what it is. We turned another 760 with our quarterback and 13 touchdowns. He did fumble 12 times, which is ass, but it is what it is. Can't complain too much when you're winning all the awards. No risk it, no biscuit, right? Um, as far as receivers go, Zay Flowers, man, in 5 seasons with Zay, this is his lowest output of his career, 1,700 yards, right? So if you take a look at what he's done over the 5 seasons, like I said, 1,900 yards. He's a lock for 2,000 yards pretty much the entirety of his career, besides this season, which, the first half of the season, while Shador is being built up from a 77 overall, where he was missing throws, missing corner routes, missing digs and stuff like that, missing streaks. It took a while to get him acclimated into the offense fully. But we still turned in 116 grabs, 1,700, just under 1,800 yards, and 22 TDs, which is nothing to scoff at. Our other wide receiver here, Marlon Gordon, has been a very integral piece of the offense. Man, he's been wide receiver 2 for 3 seasons now. If we take a look at his stats, this season is his best, obviously. 98 catches, 1,600 yards, 20 touchdowns. That's enough to be wide receiver 1 on any team. But he's wide receiver 2, Um, and he's had a pretty decent trajectory for the entirety of his career. As a rookie, he was mainly a kick returner, punt returner, and he was doing his thing there. 1,600 yards, 2 touchdowns on kickoffs. A terribly 98 yards on punts, but it is what it is. It's hard to return punts in this game sometimes, especially playing in online CFM. People don't really kick to you, man. But it is what it is. He ends up being a pretty decent receiver, all because of that tandem breakout scenario where Zay Flowers will have a good game, go over 100, 150 yards, 200 yards, whatever it is, and then that would trigger the tandem breakout, which would be get Marlon Gordon 150 receiving yards, and then Marlon Gordon would get like +5 catching traffic, +5 catching, +5 release, or whatever it is. And then Zay Flowers would get 2,500 XP. So like that tandem breakout kind of kept these guys in line with being the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 on the team. 2 seasons ago, God damn, bruh. Really, EA? All right, let's get back in here, bruh. That's tough. That's tough. It just randomly signs you out of the servers. That's why I hate being on Madden in the middle of the day. But in any case, back to what I was saying. 2 seasons ago, at the end of season 3, we did run out of money, and we did have to let Mark Andrews hit free agency. And he signed with the Saints, and he's been doing great with the Saints. If you want an update on if you want an update on Mark Andrews, he's doing great with the Saints, right? But we did end up drafting his replacement at the end of season 2, and that's going to be this guy right here, Randy Henry. So Randy Henry ends up being superstar dev. I believe he gained his dev at the end of last season for the numbers he put up: 87 catches and 1,300 yards, 17 TDs. Now, as rookie playing tight end 2 to Mark Andrews, he had a pretty decent rookie season, if you ask me, right? Considering that he's not really a focal point of the offense at all, but these 2 seasons have proved to be like, okay, life after Mark Andrews isn't that bad. You know what I mean? He's not Mark Andrews, but it's pretty decent in my opinion. So that pretty much encompasses the offense, besides Tyler Linderbaum being the number 1 rated center in the league at 95 overall. It took a while to get him up to that as well. He was a tough grind. We had to use a lot of our mid-season and end-of-season upgrade attribute points for him for quite a while, until he's up to about at least a 90 overall. But yeah, where he is right now, literally the number 1 ranked center in the league at 95. And his numbers are great. He did give up 4 sacks this season, which is kind of bullshit, but it is what it is. Our guy right here, Trenton Steele, he did make the Pro Bowl last season. And I believe he made it again this season. Yeah, so 2 straight Pro Bowls for him in he's been starting for 4 seasons now. So, he's not bad at all. We got a couple abilities on him, like Nasty Streak, Post Up, and Secure Protector. Those are all key for how we run our offense, right? Essentially, what we wanted, ideally, and it took 5 seasons to finally get this, but I wanted to build the interior of my offensive line because edge rushers in this year's game do not do as much damage as interior pass rushers do, and we'll get to that in a second. We'll see how that really goes. But we did end up making another trade at the beginning of this season. We traded our second year corner, who was a superstar dev corner. I believe he was at 84, 85 overall. We traded him for Ike Ekwonu um, to round out the rest of our offensive line. Now, obviously, Ike Ekwonu is a left tackle in real life. But like I said, edge rushers aren't doing much. I don't need a secure protector on the outside. I needed him on the interior of the O line to stop those instant shades and all that good stuff. So that's how we run in the O line here. So this is like final form of the offensive line, along with the QB, the running back, the wide receivers, the tight ends, all that good stuff. Um, that's the O. That's the offense, man. That's the O. Number 4 offense in the league. Now, if we go over to the defense is where shit gets crazy. We have multiple defensive player of the years on this team. We've won it with, I want to say, Roquan Smith has at least won it once, and I want to say Patrick Queen has not won it, but he's come close. Kyle Hamilton has won it, if not, just made the Pro Bowl every single season. Just double check. Yeah, he's made the Pro Bowl 3 seasons out of 4. Yeah, 3 seasons out of 5 actually, because he didn't make the Pro Bowl this season, which is kind of insane. But he's still a very dominant player. He just picked up 3 interceptions in a wild card game, so there's that. This guy right here gained a dev boost at the end of the season after making a Pro Bowl and winning top 3 for best DB. So he's now X Factor. This is the X Factor corner that we received in a trade for Lamar Jackson. He was a 92 overall. He's up to a 96 now, 98 with the temp boost and all that good stuff. The stars of the show, man. The stars of the show are going to be this guy right here, Rashawn Gary. And then we have our 2 inside linebackers, Roquan Smith and Steeler Boy, Patrick Queen. So we'll get out of this screen and get over to the stats screen. Just because like the stats are crazy. You already seen that we had 84 sacks as a team, 61 interceptions as a team. The fact that we had 61 interceptions as a team, and you'll see who the primary candidate for those interceptions are, is kind of wild. It's actually both of our linebackers had half of our interceptions, which is insane. But they both are X Factor 95 overall players. They both have the same exact ability role, which is lurker, pick artist, mid zone KO, and inside stuff. So that's how we're running our linebackers. This, in my opinion, is the best role to have for LBs, just because it allows you to play linebacker so you can still stop the run, you can still catch interceptions. And I also just threw in inside stuff just to have it, just because I was dabbling with like nickel double A gap and stuff like that, which comes in handy. It really does. Third on our team in interceptions is going to be Kyle Hamilton there with 9. Again, did not make the Pro Bowl, but online CFM leagues, interceptions are rampant. So 9 interceptions is not enough to make the Pro Bowl, man. You need at least 10 to 12 to make the Pro Bowl. And then we got 2 DBs down here with 8 interceptions apiece. This guy right here, Cassius Clay, with 17 pass deflections, is kind of insane. But if you didn't see that crazy number on the screen, it's right there at the bottom. I'll bring it to the top for you. 39.5 sacks for Rashawn Gary. 63 TFLs, 97 tackles. This build, I figured this out somewhere in like February, March. I figured out the build, the ability role that I wanted on an interior pass rusher to absolutely dominate. And this is the ability role that I've been running him for about 2 seasons, just about 2 seasons, right? This full season, he went off. The last season, I figured this out halfway through, and I was like, all right, cool. This is what we're going to roll with. So we got double or nothing that, you can read the description right there. Basically, if you're in a one-on-one situation and you have more than 2 pass rush points, boom, you get a win, right? Defensive rally on every 3rd or 4th down, you get an extra pass rush point. So typically, every player will have at least 1 pass rush point. And if you give them an extra one, that means every 3rd down, he has at least 2 pass rush points to get that double or nothing to win on 3rd downs. Now we're also running inside stuff and no outsiders on him just because we don't want we don't want you to be able to run the ball. We want to deter you from running the ball as much as we possibly can, right? So these guys are going to be breaking through for those TFLs and all that good stuff. Again, 63 of them things for Rashawn Gary. So that just allows him to make a ton of plays. He's got a ton of sacks. And it also just opens up the rest of the defense. Now, if we had this defense and it was just Rashawn Gary, none of the linebackers, none of the DBs, I would feel comfortable going into games because this guy absolutely wrecked shop, right? But we also do have Odafe Owe right here, 48 tackles, 33 TFLs, 18 and a half sacks. We have another D lineman here, JT Tuimoloau, second-year player, still star dev, which sucks, but it is what it is. 26 TFLs, 12 and a half sacks as a star dev player, as a role player essentially. You know what I mean? He's a rotational pass rusher. So if we look at the numbers that we're putting up here, it really makes no sense to be outside of the top three in terms of defense, because we also got another role player here with 4.5 sacks and 9 TFLs as a 389-pound nose tackle, which is insane. Roquan Smith got a couple sacks, PQ. Our other rotational three tech, when we want to sub Rashawn Gary out, we put this guy in. He does a decent job, right? So if we take a look at the Odafe Owe here, this has been the most up and down player with the team. It's been the most up and down player. First two seasons were pretty decent, I would say. 12 sacks in the first year, 24 TFLs, 10 and a half sacks in the second year, 17 TFLs. A little bit of a decline, but all right, cool. This season right here, season 3, injury prone. He was hurt almost always. If it wasn't for him being out like 2-3 games at a time, he would get hurt mid-game, come back. He'd never really hit his stride, right? This season, he kind of came back. I stopped using him as a pass rusher after this season. I gave him his abilities that he had was inside stuff, no outsiders, and under pressure. And that turned into getting him to 25 TFLs, which in turn got him to the Pro Bowl, and he got a dev upgrade to X Factor, which is phenomenal, right? I was like, oh, damn, I got lucky. So now at the end of this season, coming into this one, he finally got to 90 overall finesse rusher, which unlocks what's that damn ability? Edge threat, right? So we're running edge threat on him. No outsiders, inside stuff, and I believe under pressure still. Let me just double check because I actually haven't checked him in a while. So yeah, inside stuff, no outsiders, double or nothing, and edge threat. So in any case, we're getting around the edge, and you're not running the ball at him. So that's how he put up the numbers that he put up in his best season as a pro. 48 tackles, 33 TFLs, 18 and a half sacks. The fact that over the last 3 seasons he didn't hit 18 and a half sacks, and he just did that in one season here is pretty dope. So shout out to Odafe Owe, his career resurgence here in season 5, which is going to be the final season of the league. And before I go, man, I just want to again talk about Rashawn Gary. So, like I said, this guy is the thing. He's the player that makes all of this go. Like I said, we did figure this out midway through the last season, which he had 21 and a half sacks. Actually, we figured it out this year because the year he had 10 and a half sacks, 6 of those came in the final 3 games. So we figured it out then, and then we implemented it fully in this season, which was a damn good season if you ask me. 46 tackles for loss and 21 and a half sacks. This season is just absolute dominance. Absolute dominance. At some point during the summer, maybe before the new NCAA football comes out, I'll go back and do a video of all of Rashawn Gary's 39 and a half sacks. that is one of my goals after the league ends and I have a little bit more free time. Is I definitely want to go back and get those highlights because 39 and a half sacks is kind of wild. I might even do it for the 63 TFLs. So it's something crazy, man. It's a dominant season and it has to be documented, bro, to be completely honest. But in any case, man, that is the squad. We do have a playoff game coming up tonight. somewhere around 9, maybe not, maybe 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be playing this playoff game against the Denver Broncos, which we did lose. We did lose to them earlier this season. There it is. Week 10, we lost 17-10 in this game. It's very unfortunate how we lost. It was a under 2 minute stretch alert bubble just popped for a touchdown, like a 70, 80-yard touchdown. In a game where we absolutely dominated this guy. It just happened to be, we happened to turn the ball over quite a bit. And never really, we turned the ball over in the red zone 3 times, which is kind of insane. As you can see, red zone offensive TDs is 0%. So, yeah, we turned the ball in the red zone 3 times. Either going for it on fourth downs, or just throwing an interception, or fumbling at the goal line. I think all 3 of those things happened in this game, which sucked, and he got the win. But we get to play him again, man. We get to exact our revenge. And also, looking at the schedule for the rest of the season, as you can see here, we pretty much dominated everyone. Only giving up 10 points for most of these games here, 10 or less. We gave up 14 to the Rams, which is Lamar Jackson's return to Baltimore. He did break off an 86-yard touchdown. It is what it is. It's Lamar Jackson. He's 98 speed in this universe. Only 10 points to the Steelers. Our highest point total in the first half of the season was 21. To the Colts, who is also in the playoffs. He's playing the Patriots tonight at some point. Another 10-point game here. We lost 17-10, so we gave up 17 there, 13. And this was the point of the season where I was like, holy shit, my defense is broken. What's happening? Like, we gave up 27 to the Jets, 40 to the Chiefs, and 47 to the Bengals, which is insane. But yeah, man, we righted the ship at the end of the year. We played the Browns twice, where we only gave up 27 points between the 2 games. Almost blanked the Cardinals 70-7. And then this Bengals game, 35-30. The Bengals offense is still insane. It's still got Joe Burrow. It's still got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, a superstar dev tight end, an X Factor running back, and superstar offensive lineman. 2 superstar offensive linemen. So that offense is stacked. So holding them to 30 was cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, for the most part, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, like the video. If you didn't, be sure to dislike it, leave some hateful comments, and unsubscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm out.